Hey guys, welcome back to the garden. It is the summer and I always get excited around this time of year to cook the classics. And one recipe I come back to, I know people always say that, but I come back to time and time again, is this. I have literally been making this for about the last 15 years. It is a winner every time, and the beauty of it is that it's adaptable. This is a strawberry and rhubarb crumble. It has an oaty, crispy topping. It goes gnarly on the edges. It's buttery, it's crispy, it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's the perfect topping for any in-season fruit that comes your way this summer. Nail that crumble topping and you can take it in any direction. Basically, this is the crumble topping I want you to take and use time and time again. And to begin it, we're going to start with some butter and some flour in a bowl. So with the flour and the butter, I always start by trying to combine them a little bit, and then I add the sugar, and then I add the oats. What are you doing? Don't eat the soil. We've got a messer in the garden. So if you're distracted by the fact that Ollie's in the background, just try and stay focused on what we're doing here. So anyway, we've got flour, we've got butter. You're going to use your fingertips to rub that butter and flour together. And just when it starts to come together, we're going to get in there with the sugar, the oats, and a little bit of lemon zest for a bit of magic. What are you doing here? Coming here to cause chaos.
Chaos!
Chaos! Okay, you can have a strawberry. See, that's how the smile changes. Have a strawberry, go on. Go on. Go on. Yes, sir. See, it's always worth cooking with Dad because eventually the rewards will be there. Now, I would say I've started with probably too soft butter here. You should really do this with really cold butter so you have a chance to mix those two together without it clagging up too much. And now that it's at this point, we're going to go in there with our light brown sugar and some rolled oats. Go for the big jumbo oats here. They will make the difference. If you use the smaller oats, they're just not going to come up and they're not going to look as great when it comes to cooking this off in the oven. So sugar in. Now, all you're going to do is push that sugar into the butter, and at the point that it starts to kind of come together, that's where we're going to stop because we don't want to add any more heat. We want those little pockets of butter to melt down as this bakes off to give you nice crunchy little crispy bits that are absolutely gorgeous alongside the fruit. So just push it in with your fingertips and you'll get there. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You just want it to the point where it's starting to hold its shape. And this is a good test. If you squeeze it together like that and it holds its shape, that's how you know you're pretty much good to go. So this is your crumble topping. This goes over whatever stone fruit you have, whatever beautiful in-season fruit you have. It is completely adaptable. And the best part is that you can actually freeze this mixture and have it good to go the minute you feel a crumble coming on. So with our crumble in the bag, now it is all about the fruit. So I have a combination of beautiful rhubarb, some nice Irish rhubarb, and some beautiful Irish strawberries. Strawberries and rhubarb are what's in season, so that's what we're cooking with today. Smells beautiful. There's nothing like the first strawberries of the season, and I've been keeping track. There's a fantastic Irish rhubarb supplier who gets us the best pink stuff at the very start of the year, but during the later months of the year you still get this kind of green with pink hued rhubarb that's absolutely gorgeous, but it does need a little bit of help from some sweetness. So we have that combination of light brown sugar, a little bit of strawberry action, and our rhubarb. So let's get it chopped and let's get it into the bowl. It's things like this where you kind of zone into what you're actually doing. You find that state of flow and things get a little bit relaxing. Things are calm, and this is the sort of cooking I absolutely love because it just means that you're actually connecting with the food that you're making, and there's something special about that. Am I going too deep? Maybe I am, but it's how I feel. Okay, so that is all the strawberries and the rhubarb ready to rock. So now it's about building the flavor at this point because this is going to have that moment to bake away slowly in the oven. And yes, it's all about the crumble topping, but giving that fruit a chance to really shine, and particularly if you're using rhubarb, which can be quite sour, you need to balance the flavor here. So actually, to start with, a little pinch of salt goes in here. And to balance that out, we've got some more of that light brown sugar. I always preface something that's a little darker when it comes to crumbles because there's something like homely about it. It's the deep sweetness, that caramelization that you feel you get with darker sugars like that. And then to kind of brighten it up, a little bit of lemon zest goes a long way. I always think when you're baking, that little bit of citrus zest, whether it be orange or lemon, just grab for it. If it's a cake, if it's cupcakes, if it's muffins, grab that little bit of lemon zest, that little bit of orange zest. It will be the thing that people will be going, I wonder what that is. A little bit of lemon zest in here really does make a difference. So you could put this in the crumble topping, or you can put it in this fruity mix, but ultimately you're just going to get that sort of elevation of flavor here. And now really possibly my last tip when it comes to making a crumble is to manage the amount of liquid that's going to come out of your fruit. With strawberries and rhubarb, quite a lot of liquid comes out. So I use a little bit of flour. You could use corn flour in here. But if you're using something like an apple for a crumble, it's not going to have as much liquid coming out, so you don't need as much flour to kind of soak up those juices. So once it's at this point, you feel like you've got a good balance of things. Oh, and I was nearly going to forget, I have some vanilla extract in here as well. So a little bit of, actually it's vanilla bean paste, so you get those nice little speckles. Those are my core ingredients to the fruit. You don't need to worry about adding anything else to that. The fruit is going to sing through here. There's sugar, there's sweetness, there's all the right things. And even as you stir through that sugar and the lemon zest, that is just the smell of summer right there. Strawberries and lemon. It doesn't seem like the obvious thing, but it really works. And it just elevates that really ridiculous fruity sweetness that you get anyway. So it looks a bit dry at this moment in time, but don't worry. Have faith. This is going to turn into this gloopy, gorgeous, fruity mess underneath that crispy crumble. Now, when I make this, I always make extra crumble, because as you pile this on top, it'll look like a big mountain, but actually as this cooks down, you get this gorgeous heap of oaty crumble on the top. So don't be scared if this looks quite generous. It will cook down. Right, let's get into the oven. Now, of course, you can do this in the oven if you want to. However, I have the wood-fired oven going, and I actually think it adds a little bit of flavor in here. So it's about 180 degrees Celsius, about 200 degrees Celsius. It's going to bake for about 35-40 minutes until that crumble is crisp and the fruits have really bubbled up and gone gorgeous. And you will notice that as I was making this, I left a little gap around the side because I want that fruit to reduce down and to bubble up and for everything to come together quite nicely. And at this point, all we got to do is cross our fingers and wish for crumble glory. After about 40 minutes, 35 minutes or so, let's take a peek and see what we're dealing with. And I will be honest with you, I have been checking this like every 10 minutes because it has a tendency to not cook as consistently and evenly, but we do have a few char marks. But ultimately what we've got here is bubbling fruit and crisp golden crumble. Just ignore the little charry bits, we'll be fine. So pop this out, and now as it's come out of the oven, take your time, leave it to sit, let those bubbles subside, because this is like molten lava underneath that crumble topping. So give it its moment to just rest. Then when it's time to serve, ice cream, bowl, and let's tuck in. After it's had its time to rest, you can see there's great things going on here. You've got the bubbled fruit along the sides, and that's why I left a little bit of space as we put the crumble topping on top. But ultimately, this, you can almost hear it. It's a little bit of a hollow sound, and you've got essentially what is a really good ass flapjack on top here. And anyone who grew up in Ireland would have had a flapjack. Oats, crispy crumble, and that bubbling fruit. It's a really good sign that the fruit is cooked because it's let out enough moisture to show that it's nice and tender. So we're going to dive in here and see what we're dealing with. That is exactly where we want it to be. Crispy on the top. You can see the juices have mixed together with the sugar and the flour. It's time to taste. Now I know when typically I taste these things, I'm always very excited, but this one is special to me. It's one I make every single summer, and I just know it's going to taste good. That for me is a recipe that can transform even the most mediocre of fruit into something really special. It's all about the crumble, and it's all about the combination of fruit you choose to put in there. Have it with vanilla ice cream and enjoy it all summer long. It's sweet, it's acidic, and it's crunchy. You've got texture there. Guys, as always, I will stick the recipe in the box below. Leave a comment, let me know if you're going to try this delicious little recipe, and I'll see you soon.